Hey everyone, how's it going? It's been a long while since my last video, but I'm finally back. And in this video, I'll be showing off what's on my modded Wii in 2024. So this white Wii right here is my main console. It's the one I've been using for the past 4 years, and it's the original RVL001 with GameCube support. It's also the first Wii that my family got back around in 2009 or 2010, I don't exactly remember. And the second one here below my little stack of games is a Black Family Edition Wii I got back in 2011 or 2012. I don't really use it much anymore, but it's still nice to have around. Anyhow, enough of the backstory, it's time to talk about how I actually use my Wii. So here I have one of those cheap HDMI converters you can find on Amazon. I've had it for about 2 years now and it does the job just fine. No input lag or sound issues, and it makes it easy to play games in progressive scan. But that could be due to the fact that my TV is like 12 years old. I also use a 128GB flash drive in the USB port and a 16GB SD card to store my emulators, apps, and mods. Now, with all that out of the way, it's time to begin the showcase. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more modding content, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. As always, I appreciate your support, and thank you. So here's what my home menu is looking like on my Wii. As you can see, it's pretty bland, all things considered, but it looks a lot better than it did a few months back when I deleted all the essential channels. It's filled with the usual stuff: photo channel, weather and news channel, the Homebrew Channel, USB loader, Riivolution, and a few emulators and WiiWare games. The game I have currently in the disc tray is, as you just saw, Super Mario Galaxy. Probably my second favorite 3D Mario game next to Galaxy 2. Yes, I think Galaxy 2 is better. So we're just gonna look through each of these channels real quick and just enjoy the nostalgia and ambience for a minute.
Super Mario Galaxy!
Alright, I think I've shown all there is to show on the menu. It's time to move on to the Homebrew Channel now. Okay, so here we have all the icons I have on the Homebrew Channel. A few of these I haven't really used yet and just sort of downloaded from the Homebrew App Store. Some important highlights here are Preloader, GCMM, Project MEX Remix of course, Save Game Manager GX, WiiM5 Patcher, Nintendon't, Riivolution, Gecko, my NES, SNES, and N64 emulators, and of course USB Loader GX, which we'll be looking at next. So this is what my USB Loader GX menu is looking like. As I mentioned before, I have a 128GB flash drive to store all of my games, and I have 76 total games stored on here. A lot of these are Mario, Sonic, and Dragon Ball games, as you'll see in a bit, but hey, what can I say? I mean, I don't have much of a varied taste in games. I do in fact have more GameCube games stored on here than Wii games as well, which is a bit weird thinking about it, but Wii games are much bigger in size compared to GameCube, and I'd rather have a ton of games that are smaller than just a few bigger games. Anyway, I'm just going to go through some of these games I have here and give some backstory on why I chose them and my experiences with them. So as I'm scrolling through here, you could say I have Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1 and 2 and Tenkaichi 2 and 3. Budokai 1 I'm actually almost done playing through the story mode. It's a pretty fun game, I would say. It's really simple when it comes to the controls compared to the newer ones, but I think the story mode is really what carries that game. Budokai 2, on the other hand, that story mode, I don't know. I just got 100% save on that because I wasn't even going to bother. And Tenkaichi 2 and 3, a similar story. I got 100% save for Tenkaichi 3. And Tenkaichi 2, I haven't really played that much. And as I'm scrolling through here more, you see I have FCE GX, the 2 Fire Emblem games, Kirby Air Ride, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, and basically all the LEGO games besides LEGO Star Wars 3, which I do have on disc, but I do not want to back up because I just don't play that game anymore. Here we have Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart Arcade games, which I really don't know why I have, but they're not very big games, so I don't really plan on deleting them since they don't take up much space. But the games that I actually play are of course Mario Kart Wii and Double Dash. I've actually been playing Mario Kart Wii online quite a lot lately since I don't play online on my Switch, and it's pretty hard playing Mario Kart Wii online these days. It's nothing but Funky Kong flame runners and a bunch of cheaters, but it's still pretty fun. And here, a game I want to highlight is Mario Party 9. I absolutely love this game, besides the party mode, which is hot garbage. But the mini games in this game are actually really good. I love the mini games in this game. I've had the game for like the past 12 years. I played it so much throughout that time. It's definitely the Mario Party I have the most fond memories of. But I'm not going to say it's the best, because it's not. It's probably in the worst, but the mini games and all the other stuff besides the party mode carry that game. So on top of all the Mario parties I also have a couple Mario sports games. So Mario Power Tennis on both GameCube and Wii, Mario Sports Mix, and Mario Strikers Charged. Here we have the Twin Snakes. I've actually beaten this game twice now, and I prefer it to the original. Honestly, I haven't beaten the PS1 version yet. I got really far in it, but then I was just like, might as well just play the Twin Snakes. I had this game in my collection for like 3 years. I never really touched it because I didn't know what to do, but I beat the game twice already. I gotta say, I do prefer it to the original. I think people give it too much hate. It's a good game for what it's worth. So as I keep scrolling through here, I have a few games. NBA Street V3 is probably the best basketball game on the whole console generation between GameCube and Wii. I actually had this game a long time ago, physically. I don't think it's worth too much anymore, so I might pick it up again, but absolutely love that game. And I don't really watch or play basketball that much, but that game is really fun, especially the multiplayer. So I have also Need for Speed, Most Wanted. I love that game too. Just driving around is just so fun. New Super Mario Bros. Wii and newer Super Mario Bros. Wii. I played through those a good bit. I beat Mario Bros. Wii a few years ago. Paper Mario, the first 2 Pikmin games as well. I really haven't touched those games, I'm not gonna lie. Resident Evil 1, the remake, and Resident Evil 4. I haven't really played those games much either, but once I beat all the games that I already have on my list, I'll probably hop onto those games as well. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, I'm actually making some decent progress in this game. I just hate those Knuckles and Rouge levels, man. All the treasure hunting levels are just garbage compared to Sonic Adventure, which I have right here, Adventure DX Director's Cut. I do prefer it to the Dreamcast version too. I think people give this remake a bit too much slack for what it's worth. I mean, they did do some pretty terrible jobs porting it to the newer consoles, but the original DX on the GameCube is pretty good for what it's worth. And here I have some more Sonic games, basically all of them that you could get on the GameCube and Wii. So I have Black Knight, Colors, Gems Collection, Heroes Mega Collection, and Unleashed as well. And I have Soul Calibur 2 as well as Spider-Man 2. I played through Spider-Man 2 a lot, even though I never really started the actual story. And Soul Calibur 2 I showed off in my GameCube video if you want to go check that out. And here, Mario Galaxy 2. As I mentioned before, I do prefer it to the original Galaxy. I've actually gone further in this game in like a span of a year than I have in the past 12 years I've had the original Galaxy. And here we have Super Mario Strikers 2. I know I'm going very fast, but I have a lot to talk about when it comes to these games since I have a huge attachment to a lot of these. Mario Strikers is one of them especially. I love playing that game, playing the multiplayer, just dominating all the time. And here I have Super Smash Bros. Melee, of course. I have 3 of them on here. 2 of them are like the ROM hacks, 20XX and Akanea build, but for some reason they don't show up as that specific game on the USB loader menu. It's not really a big deal, it just shows up as like 3 different copies. I actually bought a physical copy of Melee recently too, so I've been playing that a lot more on my GameCube and not on my Wii. But I'm not going to delete it since I have those 3 copies on here, and I have certain things I do on here that I don't do on my GameCube, like getting 100% saves and using cheats. Anyway, we have some more games to finish off the list. Legend of Zelda games, WarioWare, Wario World, and Wario Land. Wario World I've actually been playing a good bit, and WarioWare Inc. It's one of my favorite WarioWare games, honestly. I actually still have the physical copy with me as well, and it's always fun to play with friends, even though there's not too many micro games, and if you play them over and over again it gets a bit boring, but it's still really fun. And I've been playing the GBA version on my 3DS recently too. And here we finish off the list with some Wii games: Wii Party, Wii Sports, and Wii Sports Resort. So I'd say I have a pretty decent lineup of games here. I've been playing a lot of these over the past few years, and I don't plan to add much more to it. And this is what the games look like on the grid. So you can see they all show up as channels. It's pretty nice. They'll have a banner. Some of them have custom music, some of them just play like the GameCube boot up sound, but it's still really cool to have these here. So as I'm going through some of these game channels here, you can see, like I said before, some of them just play the regular GameCube boot up sound, like Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Budokai 2, and F-Zero GX. But certain games like Fire Emblem Path of Radiance play music from the game in the background, which is pretty cool. Sometimes it's a bit louder than it should be, this being an example, but it's still nice to have at least something playing in the background. So as I wrap up this segment, we're just going to look through some more of my games on this grid layout. It looks pretty nice to see the banners and see them like Wii channels, like Mario Kart Arcade GP, which is a game we never really saw come to home consoles or the GameCube at all. And it's nice to see that they have banners and music as well. And the rest of these games here too, they actually fit pretty nicely. They all look like Wii channels. I wish I could put all of these on my actual Wii menu, but I think that would take a bit too much work, and I am not willing to try to figure that out. Anyway, that's about it for USB Loader GX. I've spoken a lot for this whole segment, and I think it's time to move on to some homebrew apps. We're going to move on to FCE Ultra GX, the NES emulator on the Wii. So here's what FCE Ultra GX is looking like on my Wii. I have a pretty big folder of NES games, but for some reason it doesn't show all of them, and it only goes up to the letter M. I might have to look into a fix for that. But anyhow, I still have plenty of games worth playing here, and honestly, I've been using it a bit more than my modded Switch to play these retro games, since I've been having issues with my Switch lately and I've got a few things to upgrade before I start using it completely again. I gotta say too, this emulator is great with all the features and options it has when it comes to the display output of the games you're playing, and I'll showcase that more later in the video when it's time to show off some games. That's about all I have to say and show for this emulator. Now it's time to move on to Super Nintendo with SNES9xGX. Alright, here we are with SNES9xGX on my Wii. And I have a lot less games on here than the NES, but I handpicked a majority of these games, and if you've seen my modded Switch showcase, I've had this library for about 3 years. And a lot of these games I have played, but still a majority of them I have not. I have a lot of ROM hacks here of Super Mario World, Kirby, Metroid, Street Fighter, Zelda, all the great games for the Super Nintendo. Now, when it comes to this emulator overall, the UI is pretty much the exact same as FCE Ultra GX, so not much to write home about. Feature-wise, it's also very similar too, so we're just gonna move on to Nintendo 64 emulation with Not64. Alright, next we have the Nintendo 64 emulator with Not64. And I gotta say, N64 emulation from my experience is pretty similar between the Wii and the Switch. I've come across some compatibility and frame rate issues with both this emulator on the Wii and RetroArch on the Switch. Anyway, when it comes to my game library, I don't have too much on here, mainly the save space and the fact that I don't really play N64 too much, so I don't have much to say here. This emulator works, and it works well for a lot of games. So next we're just going to move on to GameCube loading with Nintendo. Now I can finally talk about my favorite app on my Wii, Nintendo. It was the first homebrew app I downloaded after modding my Wii years ago, and it's one of the best apps anyone could get for their Wii. Just being able to play any GameCube game so conveniently on any Wii model and even the Wii U is just awesome, and it really makes me wish we got some way to play GameCube games on Switch besides the few remakes we got. But I don't want to ramble about this app for too long. I think it speaks for itself on its purpose. Now it's time to move on to the place where most of these apps are downloaded, the Homebrew Browser. So here we are with the Wii's Homebrew App Store, or browser I should say, and it's pretty different to that of the Wii U and Switch and how it looks, but it's pretty much the same in what it does. So we have sections for demos, emulators, games, media, and utilities. But for me, I mainly just focus on the emulators, media, and utilities. I don't really try to download any homebrew games or demos. So just looking through the emulators tab real quick, we have a pretty wide selection to choose from here. I have most of these downloaded besides like the more niche consoles like the Commodore 64 and Neo Geo Pocket, but I actually don't have Genesis Plus GX installed on here, so just download that real quick and see how Genesis emulation does on this Wii, since this is not a part of the video, believe it or not. But for everything else, utilities and stuff, you'll find some really useful things there, so if you want to check it out yourself, make sure you do so on your own Wii. It's definitely worth looking at. So for the final homebrew app I'll be showing in this video, I have Riivolution. I personally don't use it that much, but it's a great way to patch your disc games and play hacks like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, CTGP Revolution, and, as I'll be showing in this video, Super Mario Galaxy with the Classic Controller patch by Super Hackio. I'll be selecting the 3D All-Stars control scheme for this video, and I'm just going to show some gameplay with it. Okay, so I won't be giving much commentary throughout this segment, but as you can see, I am playing with the classic controller with the way in which the cursor is moving, and I gotta say it's miles more comfortable than playing with the Wiimote. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily better, since you don't have the ability to shake the remote, since the classic controller doesn't have that. But in terms of like giving the game an actual control scheme, it's way better. And also something to add, I've had this game for almost 13 years and I am nowhere near close to beating it, which I guess goes for most of the games I play. It's just something I thought was funny. Alright, next up I will be showing off some Super Mario Bros. With FCE Ultra GX, the NES emulator. And I'll be going through a bit of filters here just to show what kind of options you have in terms of the graphics here. So if we go to video, we can change the color palettes. And as you can see, it does change a little bit. There are a few other options like giving it the NES Classic look or PAL colors. And some of these are a bit too saturated, but some of them actually look really nice and they help sharpen the image a bit more. Anyway, that's about all I have to say for this segment, so enjoy the gameplay. Alright, next up we have Super Mario World with, or should I say, Super Luigi World, which is a ROM hack that just replaces Mario with Luigi for the whole game. It's pretty nice, but as I was saying, we have this for the SNES9xGX emulator. And this one, I don't have much options to show in terms of like video quality and stuff, so we're just gonna leave it as is and just play a few levels. Okay, so next up we have Super Mario Land 2 DX, the 6 golden coins. This is running on MGBA, which I didn't really show off earlier, but I'm still going to show some gameplay here regardless. So, the color palette in this ROM hack is actually really nice, and you can even play as Luigi from the start, which is really cool too. I don't have much else to say here in terms of the emulator itself, or the game, but regardless, enjoy this gameplay. Alright, next up we have Smash Remix with the Nintendo 64 emulator, Not64. And this is one of those games that runs really nicely on the Wii, same as it does on the Switch, but there are a few graphical glitches and bugs and like texture problems, but other than that, the game runs really nice. So I don't have much else to say about this game, really. I mean, I made 2 videos about it in the past, playing through the classic mode and remix mode, and I gotta say, it's really fun to play through. It may be a bit challenging, a bit more than I would like, but it's still a really fun ROM hack. I recommend you check this one out.
Free for all!
Wario, I'm gonna win!
This game's winner is...
今日も生き延びることができた。
Alright, we have a bit of a bonus emulator here. We are playing PS1 with the Wii Station emulator, and we're gonna play a little bit of Metal Gear Solid. I know I was talking a bit of smack about the PS1 version of this game earlier, but I can't deny that it's definitely the best definitive way to play this game if you're starting out with the series. And it runs really nicely on the Wii. No frame drops or nothing, no lag. It says there's 60 FPS in the top left corner there, but that's obviously not true. This game is locked at 30, but regardless, it runs perfectly on here. I did try PS1 emulation on my Switch a few months ago, and I had the same results, really. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. You already know, it's Metal Gear Solid, it's one of the greatest games ever made. It speaks for itself. Enjoy this gameplay.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's the situation, Snake?
Looks like the elevator in the back is the only way up.
Just as I expected. You'll have to take the elevator to the surface, but make sure nobody sees you. If you need to, contact me by codec. The frequency is 140.85. When you want to use the codec, push the select button. When we need to contact you, the codec will beep. When you hear that noise, press the select button. The codec's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready to go.
What was that noise? Huh? What was that noise? Elevator there you can take up to the ground. You'll just have to wait for the elevator to come down. You better hide somewhere.
It's Snake. I'm in front of the disposal facility.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
How's that sneaking suit working out?
I'm nice and dry, but it's a little hard to move.
Bear with it. It's designed to prevent hypothermia. This is Alaska, you know.
Take it easy, I'm grateful. If it weren't for your suit and your shot, I would have turned into a popsicle out there.
An anti-freezing peptide, Snake. All of the genome soldiers in this exercise are using it.
I see. I'm relieved to hear that. Already tested, huh? By the way, how's the diversionary operation going?
2 F-16s just took off from Galena and are headed your way. The terrorist radar should have already picked them up.
Behind D. Colonel, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
I have no idea, but it looks Looks like our little diversion got their attention. Now's your best chance to slip in unnoticed. There are only 18 hours left until their deadline. You've got to hurry.
Wow, he must be crazy to fly a hind in this kind of weather.
Who's that?
Oh, sorry. I haven't introduced you to yet. This is Mei Ling. She was assigned to us as our visual and data processing specialist. She designed your codec, as well as your Soliton radar system. Contact her if you have any questions about either of them.
Nice to meet you, Snake. It's an honor to speak to a living legend like yourself. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so cute.
You're just flattering me.
No, I'm serious. Well, I know I won't be bored for the next 18 hours.
Come on. I can't believe I'm being hit on by the famous Solid Snake. But I'm surprised. You're very frank for a trained killer.
Looks like we both have a lot to learn about each other.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to learning about the man behind the legend. But first, let me explain about your Soliton radar system. The bright dot in the middle is you, Snake. The red dots are your enemies, and the blue cone shape represents their field of vision.
Be careful, Snake. The genome soldiers have highly developed senses of hearing and vision due to their gene therapy. Make sure you don't let them see you.
First, I want you to infiltrate the disposal site and look for the DARPA chief.
The DARPA chief was injected with the same GPS transmitting nanomachines as you.
He should appear on your radar as a green dot.
Get whatever information you can from him about the terrorists. If he's alive, that is.
Snake, your radar isn't affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it.
Yes, it gets jammed easily, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful.
We'll be monitoring your movements by radar, so contact us by codec anytime you want.
Got it. I'll call if I'm feeling lonely.
Seriously, Snake, we're here to back you up, so call if you need some information or advice.
I'm also in charge of your mission data. Contact me if you want me to record your current status. My frequency is 140.96. It's a dedicated frequency for saving data. Don't forget it.
Remember, except for your binoculars, you're naked. You need to arm yourself with whatever weapons you can find.
I remember. First I'm strip searched by Dr. Naomi here, and then all my weapons are taken away. Imagine yourself put in that position.
Well, if you make it back in one piece, maybe I'll let you do a strip search on me.
I'll hold you to that, Doctor. By the way, sorry to disappoint you, but I did manage to smuggle out my smokes.
How did you do that?
In my stomach. Thanks to the shot you gave me that suppressed my stomach acids.
Cigarettes? How are those going to help you?
You never know.
If you want to get in, there's the front door. It's the fastest way, but there's too much risk of being spotted by the enemy.
I can't just knock on the door and ask them to let me in. There's one sentry on the left and one on the right. They're armed with 5.56ers and pineapples.
What about the air duct near the door? There should also be a duct on the second floor.
I can't see it from here.
I'll let you decide the best COA. I'm counting on you, Snake.
Okay, we have one final game to show before I close out this video. As you can tell by that opening, it's a GameCube game, it's Smash Bros. Melee, it speaks for itself. I don't really have to say much for this game. It runs perfectly. This is running on native hardware, running on Nintendo, and of course it's not emulation, so you're not going to experience any issues. And this game is great, man. I mean, I don't have much else to say. Enjoy the gameplay. Well, after all that, I can say with more than enough confidence that the Nintendo Wii is probably the greatest Nintendo home console ever. I mean, it pretty much does everything you could think of, besides playing newer games of course. But from the NES to the GameCube, the Wii can pretty much play every Nintendo console that's come before it, besides the DS of course. I love my Wii, and I've been playing it a lot more lately, with online servers still up thanks to WiiMfi, being able to play my entire GameCube library, and playing mods for Smash Bros. Brawl, which I've been doing for years. My Wii means a ton to me, and I hope for those of you watching who have one, it means just as much to you. Thanks for watching this very long video, and until next time, take care.